So I was at a bar in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is the town just outside of Fort Sill, which is an Army base there. And I had been stationed there for when I did my training, where I would train the soldiers that were deploying. It was all stateside. I was mobilized on active duty, and we travel around to different bases. And so we happened to be at Fort Sill at that time. And a couple Army buddies and I were out having a few drinks and playing darts, which was really me smoking them in darts because I was kind of a dart sharpshooter back then. But we were sitting there playing darts when it happened. There was this dude that was sitting in the corner, and he kept eyeballing us. And I generally try to keep things chill. I'm not like a big fighter guy or anything like that, or necessarily super aggressive. But he just kind of kept staring at us as the night went on, and it was blatantly obvious. And so finally, I just walked up to him, and I asked him, what's up? And what he said next floored me. He said, "Are you Sergeant Morris?" And it immediately took me back because I was like, "What?" Like I didn't recognize this kid at all. And so I said, "Yeah, do I know you?" And he said, "Probably not, but I know you. You taught the USD, which is the unarmed self-defense class that I went through when I deployed." And he said, "I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. And I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much. Everything that you taught us, I used it so many times when I was over there, and there were literally multiple times where it saved my life." And I'm just going to be straight up with you. When I think back of him saying that, I still get choked up when I think about it. Because that was the first time that I'd met one of the tens of thousands of soldiers that I trained after they had come back. And having already been to Iraq myself, I knew what that meant. I knew what he had been through. I knew how serious he was and why he felt compelled to say it. I knew exactly what was going on. And it really just kind of... it hit me really, really hard. And that was also the day that the idea of me being a teacher really solidified in my mind. That moment impacted me in so many ways. And that's when I knew that this is what I was born to do. Now, as it happens, he told me as we talked, he was also part of a unit who I'd actually chewed their butts halfway through the class. And I'm talking about first sergeants and majors, people that were way higher ranked than I was. I gave them an earful because they weren't taking the class serious. We had this little, we called it the bull in the ring. We had this little scenario. When I taught the unarmed self-defense course, it was a part of a broader training program that they were going through for detainee operations. So these were units that were going to deploy to Iraq, and they were going to run detention camps. Now we could, debate the morality of that, but at the time I didn't, I was young, I didn't really know the difference, and my focus was on teaching them to survive. So they were going to be running these detention camps, and in the detention camps over there, everywhere they went, every enclosure they went into, a lot of the places were fenced off and stuff. Anything they went into, they were going to be outnumbered 20, maybe 30 to 1. So 20 to 30 detainees to one guard. And they were going to have to go in with all of these detainees, and they were going to have to do things. They weren't going to be able to avoid going into these enclosures with all of these people. And so when you're in that environment, one little mistake, one little thing can lead to, you getting jumped literally by 20 or 30 people, because all of these people, again, we could debate right or wrong, all of the people, the detainees there, absolutely hated the guards and were looking for any chance to do something to them. So that was the environment that they were going into, and they weren't taking it serious. They were joking around and just kind of making a mockery of the whole thing. And I literally jumped in. I stopped the whole training. I jumped in, and again, because I'd been and I knew what they were in for, I stopped and I said, "You look around. You guys, we're not here for us. We're here for you. You guys look around at the people that you're standing next to, the people that you've trained with, people that are friends of yours. Take a look around, because some of those people are going to be dead because you guys don't want to take it serious." Now, obviously that was fairly intense and extreme, but it was true. That was the situation that they were going into. And, back then I was very extreme with it. I was as serious can be, but I felt like I literally held their lives in my hand. And if something happened to any one of them, I felt like their blood was on my hands, and I wasn't going to let that go by. It was my job to reach them, my job to get them to pay attention and teach them how to survive. And again, according to what this kid said, that moment really had an impact on them. He said from that point forward, the rest of their training, even after they left our class, got really serious because it hit home to them what they were about to walk into. And that's to me, that's what a good teacher can do. Forget about me. That's what a good teacher can do. They can really bring context and they can bring value and they can get people to really recognize what it is that they're doing. And so that's why I'm so passionate about teaching, because that's the environment that I learned how to teach in, this intense environment where people's lives were literally on the line. And a funny thing happens when the stakes are that high. All the BS, all the nonsense, all the ego, all the fluff, all of that crap goes out the window and you zero in on what really matters. Now, today, I actually take a very similar approach to how I teach, because for a lot of my students, their life is on the line, whether they recognize it or not, because you get one shot at this deal. All your hopes, all your dreams, everything that you want in life, this one chance that you have, I believe it comes down to skills and what you can learn. And so your life, everything that you want, is literally on the line. And I take that very serious. And if I don't make an impact, lives will be crushed, families broken apart, possibly even lives lost. And all of that, all of this stuff is why I don't teach to entertain. Right? I there was a time where I considered that because that's what everybody said you should do. No, I teach to produce results, period. I always have, and I always will. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that you can't have some fun, but that's never the focus, right? That's never the goal. It's always about getting to a point where you can produce results and actually change your life and get the things that you want. I'm extremely focused on trying to provide that for my students. And there's a profound lesson there, both for you as a teacher, if you become one, if you decide to teach an online course, or if you have kids, if you become a leader in any way, you're going to be a teacher of some sort. There's a profound lesson in there about how to approach that, both for you as a teacher and you as a student. In any case, I also happen to believe that I've refined and honed a method for teaching that does just that, that produces results while still keeping it straightforward and simple for the teacher. And it's a method that you can use to rapidly crank out course after course, yet cram each course with actionable value that actually gets results for your students. Now, I'm sure not every single one of my students would agree, right? I'm sure there's students of mine out there that didn't like this course or that course or whatever. But on the whole, on the sum of things, I have hundreds of positive reviews and a nearly 90% satisfaction rate on all my courses, which is very rare in this industry. And it goes back to the method that I use, and I feel like proves that this approach to creating courses, this way of doing it, leads to high value for the student while also keeping it simple for the teacher, which is the whole point. And to me, the big thing with all of this, the big secret behind all of it, is your course outline. That's what will make or break your course. Is it actionable enough? Does it have depth to it? Which is something almost nobody talks about. I've seen all of the top YouTube videos and read all the blogs and stuff. Almost nobody talks about how to create depth in your course, which is a huge thing. I couldn't imagine creating a course without not adding depth the way that I do. So does it have depth to it? Is it loaded with value? Those are the things that students are after. And in my opinion, this course building method ensures that you answer yes in every course you create. So you can create consistency and you can consistently create value in your courses, course after course after course, which is what builds trust and really attracts people to you over the long haul. Again, long-term thinking, long-term strategy. In any case, I teach this method in my new course called Sane Course Creation, which right now you can get essentially for free over on Skillshare. And that's because as a teacher there, I'm able to get you an exclusive 1-month free trial of the site. The normal trial is just 7 days, but again, I can get you an exclusive 1-month free trial. With that, you get 100% unfettered access to every course on the site, including mine. And then if you cancel before the month is up, you never pay a penny. So There's certainly a few hoops to jump through, but that may be worth it to you, especially since the course will be coming off Skillshare at the end of the month, at which point I'll sell it on my website for probably around $150 or so. So if you want to save yourself that money and you want to get it while it's essentially free, this is really your best chance. The link to start the trial is myjohn.us/sane. Again, that's myjohn.us/sane. I'll also drop a link in the description as well. And then once you're in, just use that same link, which will take you right into the proper course. And you watch lesson number 2, which is where the entire Sane Course Creation course is housed as lesson number 2. And that's it. That'll get you squared away. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.